Joining me now is Cory Belyk. He's president and CEO at CanAlaska Uranium. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. I know you're doing well. The sector's doing well. We'll get into that. Absolutely, yeah. So before we get into the meat of it, the exploration programs you have planned this year, let's remind everybody about your discovery-focused strategy in the eastern part of the Athabasca Basin.
Yeah, that's a great question. We are very focused in the eastern Athabasca Basin, and we've been working very diligently lately to reposition our portfolio back to the eastern Athabasca Basin. And that's really principally driven by the fact that we need to find another tier one asset in that part of the world to feed that milling infrastructure. And it's just a reality. You've got to find new high-grade deposits in the east of the Athabasca Basin in order to create the fuel of the future.
Now, you've got this pike zone that you say, we've got a tiger by the tail here. It's special. So what makes it unique, and what are the plans for this exploration program, drilling program, $7.5 million?
Yeah, well, what makes it unique is that it's part of a very long mineralized corridor that's host to Cameco and Orano's nearby Fox Lake uranium deposit, 70 million pounds of 8%, so the right grade, getting up to the right size. Then along strike from that a few kilometers, we have our 42 zone discovery, again, drilling up to 5%, maybe even 8% uranium in places there. And now we've discovered our pike zone just 4 kilometers from that. And that, our very first hole in that area, drilled 9 meters of 2.5% uranium. And why that's important is that it's the right grade profile for one of these major mineralizing events along what is a very prolific corridor already. And it looks every bit like an Eagle Point or an Arrow analog down in the basement. Now the question is, do we have mineralization, high-grade mineralization at the unconformity contact somewhere along strike from the pike zone or right at pike zone itself? And that's really exciting because that's an incredible opportunity for us to do something very special with our partner Cameco on the West McArthur project.
Absolutely. And then you've got Moon Lake South. You've got a $3 million exploration program planned there. What are the plans?
Well, like Pike Zone, we're going to continue to advance that and move that forward. So Denison's moving it fairly aggressively in terms of the 2024 plans, and that's built on last year's, about 8 months ago, our release of a discovery of 8 meters at 2.5% of the Moon Lake South JV. So moving that forward in 2024 is obvious. Again, a second front for us with a major partner in Denison, right near the Key Lake Mining Mill facility, and even closer to their Phoenix deposit where they're trying to use ISR production for mining methods. So it's a great opportunity for us to really do something special again on a second front within our portfolio.
Now, Cory, broadly in the sector and in the basin, you said there really is a clear and looming aspect to this in that there really needs to be a tier one deposit. You'd love to fill that, to follow on Cigar, follow on the river. So with that as a backdrop, also with the tailwinds in the sector and how well stocks are doing these days, sum up the investment case for CanAlaska for investors who may not have noticed it yet.
Well, the investment case for CanAlaska is that we are here for the long haul. We have been for 20 years, and we built an incredible portfolio in the eastern Athabasca Basin around all this critical infrastructure. Now, why is that important? Because Cigar Lake has about 11 years of mine life maximum left. 11 years. McArthur River, now that it's running again, has about 15 years of mine life. If we found a deposit today, a tier one asset today, those mills are still shutting down because it takes that long to get them into production. So if you think about the market waking up to that analogy where you might remove 20% of current global production from the market within the next 15 years, the time is now to make that discovery. And in our partnerships with Cameco and Denison and in that eastern Athabasca space where this infrastructure has a need to actually have feed, we're well positioned that any discovery that looks like a tier one asset or we can prove is a tier one asset as an immediate home in that infrastructure. So it's a great position for our shareholders at the very front end of what is an incredible bull run coming in uranium. And this time it's built on fundamentals, solid fundamentals. And it's at $106 a pound right now. It's gonna go higher because we need to bring on more production, make new discoveries. And it's just an incredible scenario shaping up, winding that spring tight, and it's starting to pop.
I love it. Great finish. And I'm sold. So we'll be watching. Good stuff, and have a great year.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, excellent. Cory Belyk, President and CEO at CanAlaska Uranium.